Hi, I'm Fiona Horn. Can you believe I'm in the office of Gene Simmons of KISS? Now today Gene's going to be telling us all about what it's like to be on the road as a member of KISS, one of the biggest rock bands in the world. He's going to tell us about his early Australian tour in the 80s, and he's going to tell us how he's survived on the road all these years. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, and he doesn't even smoke. Does that surprise you? Well, I think a lot of things you're going to hear today are going to surprise you. How are your relationships with the other members of KISS?
Paul I see all the time. He lives right up the road. Ace and Peter live on the east coast of the United States, which is 3,500 miles away. And, you know, it's been up and down with Ace and Peter for almost 30 years. It's basically the chemicals. Sometimes they're healthy, sometimes they're not. When they're healthy, we get along better, and when they're not, I don't want to be around anybody who's not straight.
You've never taken drugs, never smoked a cigarette, never drunk alcohol.
No, that's not, you know, when somebody says sip, you take a sip.
Well, tell us why you don't do drugs and drink.
You know, it's funny, I've heard philosophers, New Age people, who espouse the notion that drugs open all kinds of doorways and so on. And I basically say, you know, you're full of crap, you just want to get high. So just be honest enough to say, I want to get high and that's what I want to do. Don't give me this stuff about its consciousness. Well, they answer, well, you'll never know. How could you know? Because you've never tried it. I go, wait, let's slow down a little bit. Are you inferring that I have to try something in order to know what it's going to be like? He goes, absolutely. How could you know what it's like? So you mean I have to be shot by a gun before I actually know it's going to hurt me? As soon as rock stars tend to become famous, they wind up doing very self-destructive things. But when you really think about it, they may not be qualified to do very much in life after all. They never went to music school, learned how to play their instruments or anything. So success is kind of an accident. So the fact that anybody would think that they're qualified to make decisions about how to lead a normal, logical life, they're in for a rude awakening, because once this idiot becomes famous, he's going to succumb.
Well, Gene, you've got so many Australian gold records, platinum records. Obviously, Australia's loved you for a long time.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's not just the shows, but also, obviously, the women. You keep pointing to the gold records, I'll keep pointing to the women. Can
you remember all the women that you've sort of met in Australia over the years?
Can you remember all the men you've met over the years?
No.
Neither am I. I'm guilty as charged.
Is there any ones in particular you want to say hello to back in Australia?
Oh, they know who they are.
So what memories do you have of your first Australian KISS tour in 1980?
I remember arriving dog-tired because the flight must have been 24 hours long. Although I became friends with the stewardess on the way over. I remember landing and immediately taken by the beautiful women and wishing I was straight. But right away the press were trying to get photos of us without makeup. These were the days when we were trying to hide our gorgeous faces. And so we were trapped. I remember staying at the Siebel townhouse in Sydney that we took over the top floor. So you literally couldn't get in there. There was security, and so we could at least walk around and not be photographed without. And so we'd invite guests and press and whatever up to the floor, no cameras. And we were told to keep the curtains drawn. And one day, you know, you get tired, you want to see the daylight or whatever. And as I peered from the outside, there was a helicopter with a telephoto lens right outside my window. It's so difficult to focus in on the best piece of memorabilia. There's just endless. There's a KISS radio with an auto scan. KISS baseballs. I mean,
KISS wine collection here. What winery put that together for you?
Celebrity winers, and this winers.
Winers.
This KISS casket actually is waterproof, so even though some people may think it's a bit morbid, what it really is also a sort of a cooler, you know? You're watching the telly, you want a cold drink, you reach in there. So bars are getting them.
How many have you sold?
I don't know, actually, but they do very well.
There was a rumour going around when I was at school that you had actually cut the underneath part of your tongue to be able to stick it out as far as you can. Is that true?
No, it's just goddamn big.
It is big.
When I was born, the doctor probably pulled me out by the wrong appendage.
There's a rumour that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've kept a photograph of every single woman you've slept with.
Well, it's not true. I haven't kept everyone. I've always, from the day I ever picked up a guitar to today, find that women are the most wonderful thing about being in a band. Women for men are also probably the most wonderful thing about being alive. Think of me as a goodwill ambassador. All I want to do, getting to know you, getting to know